Hello, hello. How are you? How are you? Welcome to day one of the 3 day manifestation challenge. Unlock your manifestation power in just 3 days. I am so excited, and I just need to share a really powerful quote that I read that will really tie things in today with what we're talking about on the first day of the challenge. And this is from Norman Vincent Peale. He said, the great secret of getting to know what you want from life is to know what you want and believe you can have it. Ooh. So let that sink in a little bit. And as you're hopping on, be sure to say hello, drop a comment, and let me know where you're watching from so that I know who here is on, where you're watching from, what the weather is like. I am in upstate New York, and the weather is gorgeous. It's beautiful fall weather. We've been getting chilly nights and warm sunny days, so I'm loving it. And you're probably thinking, who are you? Some of you I know knew who I am. So I am Carrie Marie Vaughn, and I coach people to get to the next level in their life and to be able to get unstuck from what's holding them back and to just break free of those things and move forward with ease and with confidence and with their true purpose in life. And so I'm excited to share with you this 3 day manifestation challenge. And I know some people are probably like, I don't know. I don't really know how to manifest, and that's okay. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I've been manifesting all along and I need to get to the next level. And that's awesome. You're welcome here. Either way, whether you have just been starting out. Oh, hello, hello. I can see your comments. Hey, hey, where are you watching from? Fort Edward, Toronto, Canada. Hello, hello. Awesome, awesome. So glad to see we're spreading far and wide across the US, Canada. Maybe we got some folks on here from a different country. Awesome, awesome. So as you're hopping on, be sure to say hello. And so something I want to explain a little bit today as we're getting started, but I first of all, I would love for you to drop a comment and let me know one thing that you are hoping to get out of this challenge, one thing that you would like to learn, because I love to be able to set intentions for things. Setting intentions is super powerful, and I have set an intention to this 3 day challenge in order to help you get just a little bit farther in manifesting your dreams, manifesting the goals that you have for your life. And so even if it's just that next step, that is my intention for you. And so I'm excited to have you here today. And I'd also like to know, though, I'd like for you to know the difference between the different areas of your life and what you want in those different areas. And so sometimes we don't ever even really think about it. So you have to kind of part things up in different categories. You have things like wealth and finances is like one category of life. Like, what are your goals around that? What are things that you want in life out of that? Your relationships, your wealth, and your wellness and your health, your well-being, head to toe, your mindset, your body, all of that, your faith and your spirituality, your experiences, the different things that you experience or that you want to experience in life, skills, knowledge, learning, your personal power, your mindset, all of those things. You want to keep all of those in mind. So it's very important for you to know what you want in those different areas. And we'll touch on that in a little bit as well as part of this challenge, because I am going to be challenging you. This isn't going to be easy. And so if you're looking for, oh, I want things to appear like poof, we're not doing genie stuff here. You actually have to do some work, and that's the cool thing. Challenges are always a good thing because it always helps us to learn and grow. And so if you are excited, I want you to raise your hand wherever you are, dance around, say, yeah, 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 I'm ready. Drop a comment. Let me know that you are ready to start manifesting. And one thing is something that I hear a lot of people say is, oh, I just can't manifest what it is that I want. And a lot of the reason why is because what is it that you're focusing on most of the time? A lot of the time we're focused on what we don't want. How many times are we complaining? Or how many times do we, are we talking about all the problems that we have in our life, the things that we dislike? We feel, don't you sometimes feel like you talk about them more than you talk about the things that you love, which is crazy? Why would we do that? Why would we keep talking about the things? But it's like, that one person that keeps annoying you, or that situation, or getting stuck in traffic, or all of these things. Like, I get it. Life can be challenging and life has problems and people that you might not agree with. The only problem is that when you are completely focused on that all the time, focused on talking about the problems and the challenges and all of the things, but you're not thinking about and focusing on the things that you do want, that's the reason why they're not coming about in your life. And so it's if you're able to focus a little bit more on what you do want, all of a sudden you're going to start to notice that you're getting more of what you want. Funny, huh? And so it's also super important for you to be grateful for what we have now. So a lot of the times we're kind of like in that what's next? What's next? Or I want more, or I want this, I want this. But we stop, and if we stop for a second and just surround ourselves in like knowing how much blessing we have already in our life and being super grateful for it and thanking God for these things that we have been given already, the amazing people in our life, the all of the blessings that we are already so very blessed. And we really need to take that into consideration before we even think about asking or wanting more, because we should be grateful for what we have first. Not saying that you shouldn't want more, but you can't dismiss the things that you do have if you do want more. You have to make sure that you are so grateful for what you have in your life. And Oprah Winfrey, actually, whether or not you love her or not, but she actually said something that I thought was really awesome. She said, "Be thankful for what you have, and you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never ever have enough." And that's so true. I've seen that with so many people who struggle. I feel like that's all they do is complain, and they're focusing on their lack. And instead, you want to focus on the gain. And if you are unaware of the book, The Gap and the Gain, highly, highly recommended book. Actually, I can pop up, I think I have the link here handy, that I can share with you about The Gap and the Gain. I wasn't even planning on talking about that tonight, but it's one of those books that's so powerful. And if you're talking about, manifesting things that you want in your life, it's one of those things that you definitely want to make sure to keep in mind. I popped it in as a banner, so you should see it right up on front, but I'm also going to pop it in as a comment, I think. If it doesn't show up as a comment, you can see it up on the screen. You can go to building-upward/gap gain, and that will bring up the link to the book. It's on Amazon, I think, or actually, I believe that this link is actually going to bring you to the audiobook, because I love the audiobook way better than the physical book, because it includes dialogue and conversation between the two authors going back and forth between the chapters. So you get so much more out of the audiobook version than you do in the physical book, but feel free to get them both. So anyway, with that being said, and that's a little tangent, but I just have to keep in mind that is such an excellent book, because it talks about living in the gain, all of the things that we have gained in our life versus living in the gap, like the lack, that type of thing. So highly recommend that book. The other thing too that I want to make sure to make a note. So you all are here for free as part of this free 3-day challenge, which is going to be amazing. But this is actually part of a full manifestation series. These first 3 days are just like the little tipping point, and then there's going to be a deep dive that will include cellular alignment and manifestation practices. We're going to deep dive into all of the categories that I mentioned a little bit ago. There's going to be sessions for each of those as part of a full manifestation program. And so I'm going to also pop that up. Let me see here. I think I have it available to show you. So if you want to, I can show both at the same time. Wow. Okay. I think I'll just take that one away so that it's not crazy. But it's building-upward/.com/mastery, because it is a full Manifestation Mastery course. And it's actually going to be done live. So you get to participate live. If you have any questions, you can ask. But this is going to go such a deep dive. Plus, you always have access to these first 3 days. So you have the recordings of these, plus you have all of the additional sessions that will allow you to dive in deeper. And those live sessions will start in November. So keep your eye out for that. If you have already signed up for that, I am so excited to have you a part of that. The other thing too is if you are part of my Empowered Living Academy, you already get free access to this full manifestation series. You already have that as included in your package. And so if you're unaware of what that is, you can, I'll pop that up now too. So the Empowered Living Academy is a group that I have where we meet once a month, live every month. And so coming up when this manifestation series starts, it's actually going to be meeting more than once a month. And we're going to be doing deep dives on a lot of things and cellular alignment. Plus, you have a full library of all kinds of courses and tools and resources for you to use. And that's constantly growing. There is guest trainers that will be occasionally in there joining me live or providing me with things to put in there for you. And so if you want to pop in there, I am welcoming new guests into my Empowered Living Academy, and you can learn more at building-upward.com/ELA for Empowered Living Academy. So I hope that you can hop in there. I love my Empowered Living Academy group. Everyone is so absolutely amazing, and we do so many amazing things together. So, all right, let's get into this. All right. So, who is excited for manifesting? First, we're going to be doing mapping. So, drop the word mapping in the comment just so I can make sure that you are still seeing me, hearing me, all of that. And we're going to move forward with the mapping. So, this is going to include doing some actual activities. So if you don't already have pen and paper handy, now is the time to go grab it. And some of these things you can finish up on your own. It'll be part of the challenge. So you'll have some kind of like homework, if we want to call it that, work that you can do on your own outside of this when we're meeting together to allow you to challenge yourself so that way you can get to the next step, because you want to finish what we talk about today before you hop on tomorrow, because this is just the beginning that you need in order to get to the next piece. Okay. So we're going to be doing the mapping, and I'm just going to pop over to make sure I can still see your comments. Here we go. Mapping. Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Lori. Nice. Okay. So I'd like you to take the time, and I can even pop up some cool music for you while you're doing this if you'd like. And we're not going to take a long time on this piece because this is something that you can finish on your own, but I'll give you at least a couple minutes to work on this. What I would like you to do is map out where you want to be 1 year from now. Okay, 1 year from now in each of the categories that I mentioned before, and I'll actually pop them up on the screen if that's easier. I'll just pop them up in a note. Let's see if I can do this. There. All right. Add banner. Nope. It's not showing. There we go. Now you guys can see it. Can you see the categories? Thumbs up or say, I see it. If you see the categories, I can see them on my end. So these are the categories that you want to think about. And think about where you want to be in 1 year. Okay. So you can kind of, if you want to look back a year from now and see where you were a year from now and see kind of how far you've come, and then challenge yourself a little bit more and say, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year that I'm going to manifest the things that I want. So maybe if I didn't obtain or do or achieve or whatever, the things that you wanted to over this past year, make it a point to say, yes, I'm going to do it this year. And so that's why I want you to take a few moments, and I will pop on some music, I promise, in just a sec, but I want you to write down in a way that it's already happened. Okay. So put yourself in your shoes, but in a year from now. And so I want you to say, you can start by saying, I am so thankful and grateful now that, and then blah, 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 fill in the blanks. But I want you to touch on all of these different aspects that I just put in here of these categories, but you can say it in more of a sentence form. And you can even say it in more of a prayer form. And you can say, God, thank you so much for providing me with blah, 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 blah. However, you'd like to word this, but you want to pretend that it has already happened. Okay. Because your mind doesn't know whether things have already happened or not. They just see it. And so the first part of manifesting is really just knowing what you want and saying it and writing it. Okay. So that's what this is going to be for. So we'll get started on this. I want you to get started on it. So I'm going to share my screen and play a little bit of relaxing music for you so you can concentrate. And I want you to write down in 1 year from now where you're going to be at. So pretend that you are talking to somebody. Maybe you're talking in prayer. Maybe you ran into a friend that you haven't seen the last year. And you can just say, I am so thankful and grateful now that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to pop on my screen share. So let's see, share my screen. Yes. All of your senses. For right now, and we can always come back to that. You can come back to that a little bit later. But I want to make sure that we have enough time to fit in the rest of the activities that I have for you today. So I'm going to hide this. Feel free to, I can pop this in a comment as well if you need to take a peek at all of the different categories of things so that you have it to refer to. Here we go. So hopefully the comments will come through. And if not, you can always ask me a little bit later near the end. So the next thing that I'd like to do before we dive into the next activity, I'd like for you to join me in a little prayer just so that we can just ask God for some guidance as we go through this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and bow in prayer. Dear God, thank you for clarity and vision you are granting me as I reflect on the blessings that you have in store. I am so grateful for the opportunities I have to grow and align with the purpose you've set for me. Guide me as I map out my path and allow your blessings to unfold in my life. In Jesus' name, amen. And so for this next activity, before we dive into this, I want you to keep in mind that most of the time when we are going about going about our daily lives and talking about the things that we want or the things that we don't want, which tends to be the problem in a lot of cases. That oh, you don't see any of my comments, Lori, sorry about that, I don't know where they're going. They're just showing up somewhere randomly. Hopefully the things have been showing up on the screen though. Can everybody see the things that I have on the screen? Hopefully that's the case if the comments aren't popping through. And so, a lot of the times, though, we get thinking about the things we want or we don't want, and we kind of get in our head. And I can say that in past experience, some of the things that I have needed to work on most have been with a coach, because I didn't see it. It was, sometimes I could talk about things and I don't even realize the way that I'm saying things or how they're coming across or the things that are kind of underneath the surface until somebody else hears it and points things out. So I just have to share that with you, that sometimes, as you're going about this process, and you're going to be doing this on your own, of course, there may be times where you're like getting a little frustrated with things. Reach out to a coach. I mean, I have a couple positions available. If that's of interest to you, you can reach out to me directly. I have a couple spots open, I should say, for coaching students. But make sure that you're talking with somebody else sometimes about these things, because sometimes you need somebody else's mind and listening to what you want or what you don't want to pull out the things that you need to most work on or tweak a little bit, because it could just be that tiny tweak that makes such a huge difference. So keep that in mind. So this next activity is something that I'd like you to do, not only right now, but it's something I'd love for you to put on your calendar and do every day. And I'll explain a little bit more on how I'd like you to do it every day. And this is actually an activity that I learned from that book that I shared with you in the very beginning, The Gap and the Gain. And this is to write down 3 wins or celebrations from your day. So I want you to share it in the comments. You can write it down, but also I want you to share it in your comments, because not only are we being able to share with each other today, and of course be super grateful and loving and caring and respectful for everybody else as we are sharing these things, because they could be little or big wins. It could be that you did something that you keep putting off. For me, this past week, this whole last month has been a bit crazy, and I was putting off folding my laundry. I would wash it and then I would let the basket just sit there and I would just pull things out of it. And then I was like, nope, I am not doing this anymore. So I took the time to fold and put away everything, and it felt really good. And I didn't do it today, but this was an example of something that could just feel really good, because once you do it, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. I don't have this basket sitting around in my bedroom every day. And it could be just little things like that. Maybe just like that one little thing that's been, sitting around, that little project that you're maybe halfway done with, or almost done with, and you didn't finish it up, but you finally just did. Or maybe you got on a phone call today with somebody you hadn't talked to in a long time, and it was a great conversation. That's a win for the day. Or maybe you have like a big win, an achievement, or something exciting is happening in your life. That's a win too. And so I want you to write down 3 wins or celebrations from the last 24 hours. And so write that down on your piece of paper, but also make sure you're sharing it in the comments so that we can celebrate with each other. And if you're okay with it, I will share a few of them. Oh, good. I'm so glad that they were showing on the screen. So be sure when you're sharing in the comments that you don't mind that other people are seeing, but it's okay to want to celebrate with each other. And that's the really cool thing, is being able to celebrate your wins, because the more we focus on the wins, the positive things, the blessings, all of the things that we have going on in our lives, the more that you're going to start noticing this appearing in your life. It's really, really cool. So I did this activity, and I did this every single night for a very long time. I stopped for a little while, then I started again, but when I was very, very consistent with this, you would not believe the amount of amazing things that would start happening throughout my day because I was looking for it. I was focused on finding those celebrations, those things. I knew that every single day, and that's where I'm going to share with you is that I want you to do this every night before you go to bed. Every single night before you go to bed, I want you to write down at least 3 wins. If there's more than three, amazing. But I want you to find at least 3 things to celebrate every single night before bed. And the reason why you do it before bed, and I know that sometimes you're like, no, at the end of the day, I do not want to do anything. I am exhausted. But if you keep a notebook and a piece of paper beside your bed, or a notebook or a piece of paper, I should say, or some sort of writing utensil beside your bed, before you will let yourself lay down in that bed, write down 3 wins. And the reason why it's so important is, for one, it brings up the emotions again about whatever it was that you're celebrating. So maybe it was something that happened first thing in the morning. Maybe like that first sip of tea or coffee was just amazing and you just felt so calm and just it was an amazing moment, that moment. It might not have been really anything to anybody else, and it might have just been that one moment. But if that was your win, celebrate that at night. And the cool thing is that when you're writing that down and remembering that moment, you're going to experience those feelings again that you felt in that moment when it was amazing. And then you're going to be falling to sleep with these amazing feelings. That's the last thing you're going to be thinking about before you go to bed, are recalling all of these amazing moments throughout your day. How cool is that? So you're obviously bound to have nice dreams, right? You're already going to be in an amazing mood right before you go to bed because you're thinking about these celebrations, these wins, these blessings. And then the cool thing too is throughout the day, you're going to be looking for things like, ooh, what am I going to get to celebrate tonight? What am I going to get to write about tonight in my blessings notebook or my gratitude notebook or my celebrations notebook, whatever you want to call it. What do I get to write about tonight? I'm going to make something amazing happen today. Or I'm going to go do the thing that I keep saying I'm going to do and I keep putting it off. I've been procrastinating. Like have you had one of those things where you have a tab up on your computer or your phone and you're like, I know I need to get around to that. I need to get that thing that I keep putting off or sign up for that course I've always wanted to take, but I'm a little hesitant to take it. Whatever it is, if it's been sitting out there, do it. And then all of a sudden you can celebrate it that night. How cool is that? So you're reliving those feelings. And then throughout the day, you're looking for things that will be your celebrations and wins. So instead of focusing on the traffic or how somebody's annoying or whatever, all of a sudden you're focusing on, ooh, what are going to be my wins and my blessings for the day? So I'd love for you to try this. I'm going to share a few of your wins. Let's see. Here we go. Liv, tackling the tedious job of sorting, reorganizing the arts and crafts area of my home. Awesome. Good for you. I know how very tedious that can be. I have done that before with both my church Sunday school craft area as well as the craft area in my home. So I know exactly how long and tedious that can be because there's so many things, so many things. Amazing. That is definitely a huge win. Very, very cool. Ooh, new tires on the truck. Nice. Didn't eat one sweet yesterday, including honey. Wow, good for you. Nice. And you answered a challenging question today. Nice job, Lori. That is so amazing. Very, very cool. So doesn't that feel good? Like when you're just sharing that today or when you're writing that down, couldn't you relive those emotions again and get excited about those things again and how awesome it made you feel? So that's what's going to happen every single night before you go to bed as you're writing these wins down, and try to be so consistent with it. I know that some nights you're going to just be exhausted and you don't want to do it, but if you force yourself to do it, you will be so happy you did. It's going to make you feel so much better. And the more consistent you get with it, hey, that can be one of your wins. Hey, I've been doing this, my win notebook for 7 straight days. Woo, that's a win. See what I mean? You can create wins from anything. Yes. Making plans for a spiritual gathering group very, very cool. How fun. That's amazing. This is all so awesome. So those are the kinds of things you want to celebrate each night. So be sure you do it. If you need to set a reminder on your phone, sticky notes, I mean, having that notebook beside your bed is probably going to be super helpful. If you need to lay it on your bed, do it. If you need to put it on your pillow, so you're like, no, I cannot lay down before I write these down. And the reason why it's so important is the more that you do this, the more that it's going to become habit. And the more that throughout the day, you're going to be focusing all the good things, and more things are going to start popping into your life that are amazing blessings. And then you're like, wow, I have way more than three things to write down every single night because my life is so blessed. All of these things are coming to fruition that I couldn't have even imagined. And it's pretty cool. So that's why this is part of this 3-day challenge for manifesting, because it works. It definitely works. And now this last activity for the day, before I share with you what I want you to do at home. This one's going to take a little bit of time as well. And I'm going to have you first think about those things. So, you can take out that paper that you were writing on earlier with those goals that you have for, to have happened over the year, but writing it in the sense of that they have already happened, that you're so grateful now that they've already happened. And again, tap into those emotions, those senses, all of that. Like, be there, like everything has already happened. So I want you to find a comfortable place near where you can still hear me. You don't even really need to see me. I am going to be popping on that music again so that you can hear and see the waves and the music and everything, so that it's calming. But I want you to get into a comfortable position. You can either be seated, lying down, and I'm actually going to have you close your eyes for this activity. So make sure that you're in a place where it is, safe for you to lay or sit down and close your eyes. Definitely don't close your eyes if you're driving. Please don't do that. Let's be safe. You can always come back and watch this on a replay, especially if you are in my Empowered Living Academy, or if you have purchased the full manifestation course. You have access to these replays forever. They will not go away. And so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen, making sure that you are in a place where you can relax. Again, close your eyes. And there we go. So you should be seeing that. All right. Once you have found your lying down position, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and slowly release. I want you to focus on your breath. And with every breath, feel your body relaxing and into a state of peace. It's as if you visualize created continue to breathe slowly, allow everything to relax, and to shift focus inward into the mind. Let your mind quiet down, maybe nothing for a little bit. And I want you to put yourself in your a place where you feel completely fulfilled. What do you see? Notice the details. Who's with you? What are you feeling? Do you feel like movement? Or do you feel more control? What is it that makes you? Picture yourself living the life you truly desire 1 year from now. Maybe you're having a conversation with someone who you haven't seen in a while, someone who you haven't seen in a while. Filling them in, taking all of the things that have come up, experienced, achieved, seen. And take a minute to focus on explaining to this person each area of your life, how it's completely transformed over the last year, how your career and finances is going. Let them know. How about your relationships? How is your health been this past year? How are you feeling? What were your dreams? What have you achieved? How proud of yourself? How did it make you feel? Doing that. Your whole content. Just feel that joy and excitement. Feel how amazing this makes you feel. Let the feeling of gratitude wash over you. Feel it just moving across your whole body. And thank God for bringing these amazing things into your life. All the experiences and opportunities. Slowly bring your awareness into the present moment. Kind of move your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath in and out. You can flutter your eyes open. And don't stand up too quickly. If you were laying down, you don't want to get lightheaded. But I'd love for you to share how you're feeling after that experience. How did that make you feel? It was overshadowing what you were saying. All right. So this is a good activity then for you to do on your own in a quiet place without background music. Sometimes the background music and prompts of things to say and think about are helpful. And then for others it's not. And so if you found that this was a little bit difficult, oh, it was hard to hear me over the music. Okay. Sorry about that. I will have to adjust the sound in the future. I had it turned pretty far down. Sorry about that. I can never tell what it sounds like on the other end. I just know what I'm hearing coming from my computer. So I apologize for that. But this whole the whole experience, and I'll kind of summarize up what we just did so that if you want to do this on your own, you can, with or without music, or with or without being in a quiet place. Ideally, in a quiet place is going to be the best for you to quiet your mind of all of the things that are happening in your current life right this very moment and allow you to relax and first concentrate on the slow breathing in and out. And then what I want you to do is close your eyes and really just sink in and relax, making sure that you kind of focus on relaxing each of your muscles from head to toe. Sometimes when you think about them, it's easier to relax them. And then what I want you to do is picture yourself 1 year in the future and think about all of the things that are surrounding you, all of the sights that you see, the things that you hear, the things that you're touching, the emotions that you're feeling, and having a conversation with someone about all of the different aspects of your life, of things that you have been able to do or that you are currently doing or that you've achieved over the past year in all the different areas. So, in your career and finances, your relationships, your health, things you've achieved, and how they make you feel. How are you feeling? And then really lock into that vision and feel joy and excitement and gratitude just wash over you. Okay. And then after you've done that, make sure that you're slowly coming out of it. And make sure that you kind of bring awareness back to the present moment very slowly by wiggling fingers and toes and continuing to do the deep breathing. Then you can flutter your eyes open. So tomorrow I'll work on adjusting the volume a little bit better so that you can hear me for day 2. But I'd like to give you some activities to do at home. In addition to that activity, if you weren't able to hear me, okay, I just shared the explanation of how to do it, so you can work on that at home. And if you want to do that immediately, if that's helpful for you, so that it's fresh in your mind and you can just put yourself in that moment. But I would like you to create a vision board, and I left mine in the other room. I meant to bring it in here to show you. I won't go run and get it, but I'd like you to create a vision board of things that you would like to have 1 year from now. And again, tap into all of those different aspects of your life, all of those different categories that we talked about earlier. And actually, I can share them on my screen again. Let me pop them up if I can. Let's see. Where are they? Here we go. So if you want to jot these down, because this is something that I'd like you to do for your homework before we dive into day 2, because day 2 is going to be a continuation of this. So I want you to have this in your mind. I want you to have done this activity. And your vision board doesn't have to be a big giant arts and crafts project. I might do that because I like doing arts and crafts, but it doesn't have to be. You can even create them on the computer. I've seen people create vision boards in Canva or like even in a Word document or something and just print it out and put it up somewhere, or even have it as the background of their computer screen. So it's whatever works best for you, whatever you like to do. If you're more of the like cutting and pasting and making it pretty kind of person and doing the arts and crafts project for your vision board, awesome, do that. If you're not so crafty like that, you can include photos, you can include words, you can include quotes, whatever represents your life in a year from now. And it can be so just up to you. Like how do you envision it? It doesn't matter if it makes any sense to anybody else. It doesn't matter if I look at it, it doesn't make sense to me, who cares? Even if your spouse or your kids look at it and it doesn't make sense to them, it doesn't matter. It's as long as it makes sense to you, as long as you can put yourself in that moment, tap into those emotions and those feelings that you just were in when we were doing that activity, you putting yourself in that moment a year from now. Tap into that as you're creating this vision board. And every time you look at it, feel that a little bit, feel those emotions that come along with that. And then I want you to start that gratitude journal, that wins journal, to writing down at least 3 things, 3 to 5 things every single night before you go to bed about a win from the day, a celebration from the day, something you're grateful for that happened that day. Okay. And you can just write down like bullet points, 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 things. Or you can put it into a sentence or a prayer. I am so thankful and grateful now that blah, blah, blah has happened. And it can have actually happened during the day that day. Or you can say, dear God, thank you for providing me with this, or that I was able to experience this. You can write these down in whatever form is best for you, but I want to make sure you're writing them down every single night. And I would love for you to pop back in here tomorrow on day 2 and share a little bit about how that experience was, because I want you to do that before bed tonight. And I know that you've already shared them on here, so you can feel free to write those ones down as your first 3 things in your notebook, or maybe 3 new things. You still have some time before bed, right? So you can make things happen. Some awesome things can happen between now and then. And so I'd like you to do that. And again, I would love for you to join in the Empowered Living Academy. Join us on our monthly calls. Join us in this full course where we're going to deep dive into all of these different areas and do cellular alignments around all of these different areas so that you can fully manifest in each of those different areas, as I have up on my screen. And so if this was helpful, I'd love for you to drop a comment. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes, 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 yes. Exactly. Liv, that's like a double win right there. You got your arts and crafts organized just in time to do this awesome project. I love it. So awesome. Lori, so glad it was helpful. So awesome. I am so blessed to have you all here. I'm so glad you were all able to join today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for day 2. Stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, have an amazing night. I can't wait to hear about how these activities went for you. So I want you to keep me posted on how they go. And if you want to share a picture of your vision board when you have it done, feel free to come back in here and drop a comment with a picture of your vision board, because I'd love to see it. Even if it doesn't make sense to me, I want to see it. I want to see that you're doing it, because, by doing the things you say you're going to do, you're holding yourself accountable, you're doing the things. And this is also just the beginning portion of manifesting greatness into your life, because if you say you're going to do something, you should do it, right? So have an amazing night. Thank you again for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Woo!